Alright, what's good YouTube? Bope here for our week 2 matchup here in the JJDL Chimpao division. We are taking out Lmaonade, coach of the San Antonio Spurs. Make sure you're checking them out in the description down below. Last week, if you weren't able to check out our video, make sure to check that out on the channel below. But yeah, we were able to pick up a big victory over Treyunt in week 1, a 3-0 victory, and we're just trying to keep that going here into week 2. So let's take a look at Lmao's team real quick. He's got a very powerful Sun squad. He does have Ninetales as a setter, but I don't think that's going to take very much, if anything, away from him. He's got Free Terra Walking Wake, which is pretty big to deal with. That's something with this Free Terra rule set that we're going to have to deal with some big mons dealing with Free Terra. And that wasn't even his first selection, but it was the biggest thing that I was circling when I saw this matchup. He's got Torn T and Chi Yu as well. Made a trade with Star in the beginning of the draft to acquire those two for Dragapult and I believe Kingambit, so that was an interesting thing that happened in the draft. Also has Lando T, Metagross, Galarian Weezing, Ninetales, like I mentioned before, Decidueye, Avalugg Hisui, which is also a Terra Captain as well, so he can Terra either Walking Wake or Avalugg, and Spidops as well. Some of the biggest threats that I saw going into this matchup, I think Walking Wake in general has a pretty good matchup. I do think that Sun is solid against me. I don't think it's anything too crazy, but one thing that he's going to really have to deal with between Walking Wake and Chi Yu, who's pretty much the same level of threat against me, is Primarina. Primarina is something that they have a pretty difficult time breaking through with a combination of both Walking Wake and Chi Yu. No electric type on the team, so only super effective Pokemon that they have against Primarina in this matchup, aside from Weezing, which usually isn't going to be super offensive, is Decidueye. I don't think Decidueye is a phenomenal matchup. I don't think it's a phenomenal Pokemon either, so it's not something I was too worried about in building, but just something to keep in mind. I think Lando T has a pretty good chance of coming. I think it's going to be ran defensively. Metagross is something that I'm actually using in another league right now in Pack, and it is a really big offensive threat. Just the coverage that it has between Heavy Slam, Psychic Fangs, the different punch moves, ironically enough, doesn't get Fire Punch, which is huge for my Scizor in this matchup, but a ton of fire coverage on the rest of the team in general. Weezing, pretty good defensive check into my physical offense, including Garchomp and Zapdos specifically. Yeah, I'm expecting the big 6, or the first 6, to be the most likely group. I will say though, if I don't see Ninetales, I could see a scenario where Walking Wake doesn't come. It's going to be really difficult to not see it come, especially when it is a free Terramon and it is such a prominent Pokemon for his team. But yeah, if he really wants to focus in on that physical defense to take on things like Garchomp, Scizor, and Zapdos, I could see Avalugg coming. And maybe that Walking Wake doesn't come. But I think that's a possibility. I do think that Torn always comes. I honestly am expecting one or two things, something just to handle physical offense, so something physically bulky, or I honestly think a spec set could make a ton of sense if Raikou doesn't come, which it didn't come in week 1. Flying Spam is pretty good against my team, especially when he has access to Heat Wave as well for Scizor. But yeah, that's kind of the general basis of what I'm working with here. Let's get into my team real quick. And we're going to start off with the girl. The girl herself, Yue, the Terra Glaceon here. Being full transparency, this may be Glaceon's only matchup of the year. I've already been looking into free agency stuff to kind of work on my team a little bit, and Glaceon is really holding her weight here with the 3 points that she's costing, but I think she has a good matchup here today against Lmao. This is a mostly physically bulky set, but also carries a decent amount of Speed F, so 248 in HP, nearly max bulk in defense, and 16 in Speed F. Ice Beam, Mud Shot, Terra Blast, Water, and Freeze Dry, and AV. So with this matchup, I definitely think that Scarf Chi Yu is definitely possible. It can't outspeed a max speed Deoxys speed, but it pretty much takes on the rest of my offense pretty well. If he wants to run a breaking set, that's not going to be something that UA can handle, but a Scarf set, once Terra, Glaceon can eat any 2 hits and deal some pretty good damage back with Terra Blast Water. It's also pretty good into hitting the Landorus as well. And Terra Blast Water is pretty good across the team. Also has Freeze Dry for the Walking Wake, which is pretty big. And Mudshot, a lot of people are like, oh, this man doesn't have good coverage. Mudshot is a ground type move. It can't hit Metagross. It can't hit Metagross very well, but it at least does a little bit of damage here. I sip on my iced coffee here. Context, I battled week 1 at like literally the same time last week that I'm recording this team builder right now. It was super early in the morning, so apologies if I did sound like super quiet. I was messing around with my roommates who were literally on the couch next to me sleeping. Also, if I sound super sick right now, it's because I'm getting over a bit of a cold right now, but I'm just powering through. I also hate that I'm sick right now because it feels like it's a thing where like draft league players are like, sorry if I'm not feeling too great, I'm sick right now, and like that always kind of bothers me, and now I'm doing it, so that's great. But yeah, let's see if Glaceon can actually carry its load here. Just has really good 4 moves into the team. And yeah, we're going to go to our second Assault Vest user right away in Chandelure. Chandelure had a really good week last week with Terra Fairy and picking up 2 kills as a spec set. A little bit different this time. It's running Assault Vest with 32 HP, 224 modest in special attack, and pretty much max special defense and Flash Fire. That's going to be big for taking on the Chi-Yu. This is also another Chi-Yu / Walking Wake response. Glaceon more so for Walking Wake, Chandelure more so for the Chi-Yu. Flash Fire, it's going to make him not feel like he can click fire moves that much, and I think it's more likely that I Terra Chandelure into Terra Water, which is what I'm running here. Shadow Ball, Flamethrower, Terra Blast, and Overheat. I really didn't see a 4th move that I really needed, so Overheat was just there to kind of spam on some of the things I might not be picking up a K on. So like if he's running Assault Vest on his Metagross, I can click Overheat instead of just Flamethrower and have a better shot of trying to pick that mon off. But really good coverage. It can chew anything from like a non-specs Chi-Yu, which is pretty big. And yeah, it's honestly just really good bulky into the rest of his team. I will say with Decidueye, that's actually like something that does concern me. Like, I did not prep for it too much, but I also think it's just, I think it can get overmatched. But yeah, let's go into our Primarina set, which is our first of 2 win cons in this matchup. A Keyberry set, pretty much max physically defensive with a plus Spadef nature. A little bit of special defense in there with Calm Mind, Surf, Moonblast, and Rest. I was thinking about running Protect and Leftovers, but I thought Keyberry would be pretty interesting, pretty fun to run. So unless we are facing off against like a max Adamant Metagross, nothing is really two-shotting this thing with its broken up bulk. I can get up a Calm Mind on pretty much anything. I'm hoping to take advantage of like one of the Ninetales, the Weezing, if it doesn't have Sludge Wave or Sludge Bomb, or any of Landorus or Metagross. So there's 4 things right there that I think I can take advantage of, get up at least 1 Calm Mind before going for Rest. The Keyberry is going to boost my defense if I'm in front of any physical attackers that wants to attack me straight on. So I can take on Metagross, I can take a Heavy Slam, eat the Keyberry, and then after the +1 defense, I get a pretty good shot of living any 1 hit. Again, if it's max attack Adamant, there is a rule in their favor to KO me, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. And yeah, honestly, with a couple Calm Minds up, this thing is doing a ton of damage with just Surf and Moonblast, especially even if the Walking Wake does Terra. I do think it's going to be a Terra that wants to beat Primarina, so something like Poison, Electric was the thing I was most focused on in building. So that's something to be aware of. And Rest. I can pretty much rest up on anything after getting a first Calm Mind up, and I should be in a good spot. I do need a couple things chipped down pretty well, but I do see this as something that can pretty much clean at the end of the game if I'm able to get a couple calm minds up. Just doesn't have really great switch-ins to the combination of both Moonblast and Surf on the team. Next up, it's the debut of our first, our captain here of the team, Jinga, the Deoxys Speed, running a Focus Sash set with Taunt, Stealth Rock, Psycho Boost, and Knockoff. Not a ton of switch-ins into Psycho Boost on this team, and kind of the way I was building, I needed something that could get up rocks in the beginning. And just because I don't want to get extra chip on Glaceon or Chandelure before they Terra, I thought that a Taunt Rocks Deoxys set made a ton of sense. 40 in attack, 252 in special attack with a speed boosting nature here, 216. This outspeeds a Scarf Chiyu that is pretty much just running max speed. Not that I think he would run max speed if he's modest, but I didn't really think that I needed extra input or extra output on his attack or special attack. Psycho Boost and Knockoff, I was thinking of running Stomach Tantrum because the only thing that doesn't want to take Psycho Boost on this team outside of things that are like Terra Dark would be Chiyu and Metagross, and Stomach Tantrum hits those both super effectively, but it really wasn't doing a ton on Metagross. So the game plan here with having Knockoff is if he realizes that I just mono Psycho Boost and they want to switch into Chiyu, getting a Knockoff and removing either a Specs, a Scarf, a Boots on Chiyu would be huge. Same thing for Metagross. If it's an AV set, getting an AV off or even a Berry is huge. Those are two big threats to my team, so I thought it made a ton of sense, and yeah, this thing is really here to prevent rocks from getting up, get up rocks if possible, and just doing a decent amount of damage. Second to last mon here is Kiyoya the Raikou, making its debut of the season as well. 236 in special attack, 60 in Spadef, and then the rest in speed with Timid Nature, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Scald, and Calm Mind. This is pretty much my second quote-unquote win con of the game. No really good switch-ins into combination of both electric coverage and Scald. I originally had agility on this to just outspeed anything, including speed boosting, walking, wake, but I really didn't see that as necessary. I think by the time that Raikou is coming into clean, I don't really need to get an agility up, especially if I'm able to get a knockoff with either Dio or Scizor, which is coming up next, and getting rid of any potential Scarfs, or if I've gotten rid of the Ninetales by then. I thought Calm Mind was doing a little bit more, just so it pretty much guarantees that I can two-shot anything with 236 in attack. Leftovers just means that I can recover over time. I think this is going to be something that I'm Volt Switching a lot in the early game if it comes in at all. And yeah, I initially had Shucka on this, but I didn't really think that an offensive Metagross would be coming, especially something that's like Scarf. It's definitely going to be something in the back of my mind, but I think it makes way more sense to be ran physically defensive alongside Weezing. If he does come with a Scarf Lando though, I think between Glaceon and Primarina, those two things can handle it pretty well, as well as the last mon here, and that is Shun the Scizor. Scizor is coming back after a pretty solid performance in week 1, pretty much running max physical defense here with U-Turn, Bullet Punch, Knockoff, and Defog. It's going to help support with no Serena once again, just making sure the hazards are staying off the field. Leftovers here, I was thinking back and forth between that and the Okaberry just because he has really good fire coverage across his team for a Sun team. But I don't really see myself staying in with Scizor for too long. I really see myself spamming U-Turn with the amount of things that he can come in, including like Torn T. Honestly, you could feel comfortable bringing in Chiyu hard, but especially Weezing and even the Avalugg if it does come, or even just his fire types. He has a lot of things that can pivot in easily on Scizor. Knockoff is nice once again to get rid of any potential boots or any choice items that I'm trying to get rid of. Bullet Punch is just nice to get some early priority on things like the Torn, which was something I kept in mind. And yeah, that's pretty much the squad. I feel pretty good about this team. Honestly, I was a little bit narrow-minded and focused in on these 6 immediately. I didn't really entertain too much outside of it, to be honest. I think the only thing that was kind of on my mind was bringing one of Garchomp or Zapdos, like a Scarf Roll, just to be an extra assistant to potential Scarf Landorus or any potential Scarfers, and just adding some more physical offense, because I really am specially offensive this week with the majority of my team outside of Scizor. But yeah, this is kind of the squad I'm rocking with here. I'm recording this a couple hours before I match up with Lamau, so yeah, we will see you when the battle starts up in a little bit. Alright, and we are back. We're going to start searching for Lamau, and yeah, we'll see where this goes. This will be fun. I'm honestly like 50-50 if he actually does bring Sun, but either way, I feel like I'm in a good spot for it. Oh, I gotta throw in Terrace as well. Boosie. Alright, so we got Torntea, we do have the Sun, and we do have the stupid Decidueye. Okay, that's fine. So he did not bring Metagross or Lando. That's cool. So that just means, Glaceon, you're not getting fucking Terra. Simply put. Probably not anyway. No Avalugg. No Spidops. The baller. So my dedicated lead is the Deoxys. I think worst things that I could see would be, I don't even know, if I see Ninetales, I can taunt that thing immediately. Terragrass. Okay, so it was either it was just something effective to hit Primarina, so that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you can just lock in here, and good luck, have fun to Lamau. I'm gonna throw that in chat. Dude, this man keeps dropping goat signs. He's the fucking nicest, to be honest with you.
Here we go. The battle is about
no clue what the name is. It's fucking Decidueye. Okay, that's fine. Throw a taunt off, but I think the easiest thing is just getting a knockoff. If he goes for a U-turn, I can always rock on the next turn. But yeah, I think knockoff's pretty free here. Yeah. And also, I just want to see, rocks are good. Actually, rocks are pretty good. He has sneak, so I think I might just get up my rocks immediately. If he's Scarf or anything, I will be able to figure out that, so I'll just get up rocks. So get up rocks for free. If he defogs next turn, that's fine. That means I can get a knockoff off. He does go for a U-turn, and I'll see Sash. He doesn't have any other forms of priority, so that's more than okay. And if he does have removal, it will be with the Decidueye, so that's cool. That's cool to know. No Lando is pretty interesting. No Lando and Metagross? Oof. Okay. That actually, that makes Scizor like the primary thing for Decidueye if it does stay around for too long. Ryuk. There he goes into Torn. Okay. Not boots. Good to know. I'm just gonna throw that down. So U-turn on Decidueye. Terror Grass on the Wake. So just looking at what I'm working with here, I could just go for a Psycho Boost and try to do as much damage to this thing as possible. If it's bulky, how much am I doing here? If it's just max HP, it's actually doing a pretty good chunk. Could also go for a knockoff here. If it's AV, that would be nice to get rid of. I think I'll actually go for the knockoff here. Gets rid of AV, so that's pretty nice. And I can always bring in Raikou after, but he goes for a U-turn and gets rid of Dio. So Dio gets a Brox, and Dio gets rid of an AV. So that's pretty good. Torn T. KOs. Deoxys. What a debut for a 4th overall pick. Dies in 2 turns, but that's kind of what I wanted here. Scarf on Decidueye. That would be B4. It makes sense for Chandelure, I guess. I don't know, maybe I want to see if a defensive Decidueye can actually do that much to me. No, it's gotta be like super offensive. He's ascended Takumi, that's the Decidueye again. Yeah, he's gotta be pretty offensive to do that much to me with U-turn. Wait a second. Is this thing banded? It's either boosting item or banded. I'm gonna go into Scizor, because he can always defog here, but I can just get a knockoff and do a ton of damage. Because if I go into Glaceon, you can always U-turn out. But yeah, I feel pretty good with Scizor. And I don't think anything really wants to take a knockoff here. If he gets rid of the rocks, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go for a knockoff here. We'll kind of see. This thing has to be like super offensive, because I'm looking at like Adamant, even like Adamant Scarf, unless I got my set in here. It's got to be like a boosting item, or it's straight up banded, which it's not doing much to Scizor anyway. So yeah, even if it's banded, it's not. All right, switches into what? If it's Chiyu, that's gonna be. What the is that nickname? That's the Weezing. Get a knockoff. Its helmet, that's awesome to get rid of. Actually, not really, because I'm mostly special. That's fine though. It actually should outspeed me because I'm actually like 0 speed in Scizor. So I'm gonna make a hard switch. I can go Chandelure here on a defog. I can go Chandelure on the defog. It won't do that much damage to me if it does attack, just like literally anything. Sludge. If it's like no investment, yeah, it's doing piss poor to me. And I can always throw off, honestly, a Shadow Ball's pretty free into the Steam. So I'm gonna go into Chandelure. Should just defog though. We will see. He just does go for a defog here. But I'm gonna put, like, honestly decent pressure on this thing. So we see defog, and I can just go for a Shadow Ball here. I don't need a Terra yet, which is pretty good too. And Shadow Ball's doing a ton. I honestly could throw off an Overheat here. He doesn't have a great switching into it, but honestly, I think Shadow Ball's just the easiest play right now. If he goes Chi-Yu, that's fine. I think Shadow Ball into, let me actually calc this. Shadow Ball into Terra Blast Water actually does knock it out. Literally because Terra Blast Water is a one-shot. Ooh, that almost picks up the KO. Sludge Bomb does literally nothing. Don't poison me. That's awesome. And I think I can just go for another Shadow Ball here. Once again, he doesn't have a switch in. And yeah, albeit I could go. I don't really have a good Sludge Bomb switch in otherwise, so I think just staying in with Chandelure and just going for another Shadow Ball is the play. Let me go with it. Alright, and Weezing is gone, so Chandelure gets its 3rd kill already of the season. Shandy KOs Weezing G. Pretty cool. I'm actually going to put down the moves as well, just so I don't forget. Shadow Ball with U-turn. Alright, Charles Youth. He goes into Chi-Yu. I'm literally Terra Water Brother. And you don't appreciate a Terra Blast Water. I don't see any reason why I don't do this. I mean, he could go into Wake, like right after, but I can just pivot out into Glaceon. So I'm just going to drop a Terra Water here. He's staying in. So unless he's like Assault Vest, this could drop. He's got to have a decent amount of HP investment to kill me. Or if he specs. Does literally nothing. We're not even looking at the calcs here. We're just going to say this drops. Let's go! Come on, Chandelure. Show up, brother. Everyone's like, why don't you Terra Zapdos? Why don't you Terra Raikou? This is why. This is why. Alright, cool. So Chandelure KOs Chi-Yu. With Terra Blast. And I'm sitting at about half health here. If he wants to go hard into the Wake, he's got to drop a Draco to kill me. Unless he specs, I think. Even if he isn't Ivy, this is Ninetales. Alright. So he can just go for a Baton Pass here. Ninetales up. Actually, Overheat's doing like a good chunk. But you could always Baton Pass into something here. I think Shadow Ball's still pretty good. I want to see if Solar Beam. I'm pretty sure it won't get me unless it's like modest here. Yeah, 252 is not doing enough. He's got to be modest. Just in case the Wake does come in. I got a little bit of time. I'll just go for Shadow Ball here. He switches out hard. Does he go into Wake? He goes into Wake, so this is going to be taken at least like 30-40% depending on his photosynthesis. He's speed. Okay, cool. Goes for a Shadow Ball here. Literally a straight 2-shot. I'm literally, so he's plus speed. go. Draco. I don't think Draco kills. I'm looking at the calc. If it's speed boosting, that's max special attack otherwise, the most it can do, I'm literally at 139, the most it can do is 138. So unless it's like a boosting item, wait, it's booster speed. Shut up, bro. Shut up, Ben. What do you know? I'm clicking Shadow Ball. Drops a Draco. Oh, frick. Yeah, that's fine, honestly. I was just talking all that smack. Oh, it's Life Orb. Okay. I was like, it's gotta be a boosting item. So I can go Glaceon here, actually. Terra Grass. Let me put that in. Yeah, if he's Terra Grass, Free Strike, it's still the KOs. So he's got no Weezing, no Chiyu. He doesn't really have a Freeze Dry switch in aside from the Ninetales. I'm trying to think of what else I could do. Low key, I could start setting up with Prim. I could low key start setting up with Prim. I kind of want to do that. It's at -2. Screw it, dude. We're gonna go Prim. Yeah, if he's Terra Blast, Life Orb -2. Life Orb -2. It's gonna 2-shot, but as I go for the Calm Mind here. So I'm gonna go for a Calm Mind right now. And then I wanna look at Decidueye. If it is like banned, which I think it is. If he goes hard into it, I'm probably gonna have to pivot. Choice banned. Yeah, that straight kills. So he switches. Did he go into Decidueye? Probably, right? Yeah, that's Decidueye. Yeah, if he's banned, he just straight one-shots me. But I can just go into Scizor. That's a bummer. But I can just go Scizor on this thing and then U-turn right after. So that's fine. Probably should have kept that in mind. It's cool though, we're in a really good spot because Wake is below 50. Wait, is it? Did I get damage on it? Goes for Leaf Blade. It did 38 to Scizor. I can actually kind of gauge that. Yeah, that's like max attack ban. Dang, dude. Yeah, I can take whatever, if he wants to stand, I'm just gonna U-turn though. Probably just goes Torn, because he still has some turns up though. We'll see. Ryuk, I believe we saw this before, it's Torn, right? Okay. So it goes Torn, I can go Raikou. And just click Thunderbolt. I can also go Glaceon, but that just invites like a U-turn into the Ninetales. So I'll go Raikou here. Alright, and he doesn't have his AV anymore, which is good to note. If he's just like max HP, Thunderbolt straight drops this thing. I think the Wake is... did I get a Shadow Ball off my Wake? Yeah, because it switched in hard on Chandelier, so it's at 50. If I'm +1 against the Wake, Terra Grass. It's tough, but it won't be faster than me, so I can actually two-shot it. I'll just go for a Volt Switch here. I'm thinking too much. We'll see what he does. Just goes for a U-turn. I'll just get big damage on whatever comes out. If it's Ninetales, that'll be nice. I'm playing a little passive with both Prim and with Raikou. I honestly think I could have Calm Minded there with Raikou, but I don't know. I need like a little bit more damage on the Wake. Probably just goes either Ninetales or Decidueye here. That's Ninetales, right? Yep. Alright, so we're gonna get a big Volt Switch off on this thing. It does like 30. So we can get a little bit of a gauge on what its set is. Which looks to be max in Spidef. So that's good to know. I think I just have to go Primarina. Yeah, because I can't go Scizor, obviously. If I go Glaceon, I don't know if that does anything for me. I think I just have to go Primarina. So I'll go Prim. He's already seen so it does mean that like Solar Beam is not doing like anything to me. I think I just have to go for a Surf here. Does he know Suno? Did he? Oh, it's 2 turns left. I'll just go for a Surf. What's the difference between what it's doing to Moonblast is doing like way more to Decidueye. I'll actually go for a Moonblast. He just goes for a Flamethrower. Okay, that's fine. I'll go for Moonblast. That does nothing. Special attack drop's nice though. I literally talked that into existence. I'll go for Surf now. I can still beat Wake if Prim is down, so that's good. Yeah, I don't really need Prim for anything specific. And that Decidueye is pretty much preventing me from doing anything with that, so I'll go for Surf here. Switches out now. He saw my Moonblast, so interested to see what he pivots into. See Flamethrower and Baton Pass. Goes to Decidueye now. Good call on that. Literally does nothing. The sun is gone. He can just go for a U-turn here. I think I can actually go Raikou here. I think I go Raikou here, calling the U-turn. And I can always, I don't need like specific help on this, so I can go Raikou here pretty recklessly. Not recklessly, but with a little bit less remorse. If he goes for Poltergeist though, that would be pretty tough. Damn. That was kind of a throw. Does it knock me out? Yeah, it does. Dang. JD's and Littleman. This is future Ben here, and this is going to be a post-comp for the rest of the battle here because my audio was pretty much corrupting my video because I was streaming to Discord to the rest of the coaches, and I have not done that before, and I also have a MacBook, so I probably shouldn't have been doing that. But yeah, we're just going to be talking over the rest of the game. It's going to be from Lmao's side. Huge shout out to him, by the way. If I didn't say this at all previous, he has been like super helpful, not only getting me this footage but also just working with me to schedule this battle, and also been just super supportive in his video as well. So please make sure you're checking them out and their channel. They're doing really well over there. But yeah, I'm just going to talk over the rest of this game, not really talk too much about the game itself because it kind of fell out of place as soon as I sack Raikou. I really don't have any way to beat that Decidueye left. I'm gonna be giving pretty much damage on my Scizor, and Poltergeist from a banded Decidueye is clean two-shotting it just because I'm a more specially defensive Scizor. No way for Primarina to really set up because it gets one shot. Simply put, I don't get to eat my Key Berry and get a Calm Mind off. No chance of that. So, sacking Raikou got her through the game. And even though I do think without that play we were in a really good spot to win, I did make that play, and I was also super flustered after just having that happen to me, and I wasn't able to adjust. So that's totally on me, alongside just not feeling like I could bring myself back into the game after that. I also realized, just looking after and just talking with Lamau, we talked for a good 10-15 minutes after the game, on Discord. So honestly, just really great guy. Make sure you're checking out Lamau's channel. I'm going to say that a billion times. Helped out Star with that trade during draft. So just a really, really nice guy. I had absolute no ghost switch-ins. I tinkered with bringing Greedent, but yeah, I have no dark type, and my normal type is my Terramon, so it's not likely going to be staying normal. With that in mind, me looking over Decidueye was just bad in team building, but we're also going to be fixing that for next week. I mentioned that I was thinking about changing Terramons anyway. I'm going to be dropping Glaceon and Smeargle for Skuntank. That's going to be taking place for week 3, so just keep that in mind as well. And instead of Terra Glaceon alongside Chandelure and Greedent, I will now be having Serena as a Terra option, which is pretty good because I think I'm going to be bringing Serena a decent amount more. It just didn't have great matchups here in the first couple games, but I feel like with a Terra option, it's going to be way better to use, not only as a defensive check, but just another super effective move to add to its arsenal. It's kind of got a good move pool, but it could be better, and adding Terra to that is pretty great. And it's only 1 point extra on top of Serena, so it was honestly a really no drawback move for me. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that real quick. Not sure if this is going to go past the rest of the video or not, but yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. We fall to 1-1 on the season now after this. And yeah, we're going to be playing Darude next week for week 3. Hopefully gonna bounce back then. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys for now. Once again, make sure you're checking out Lamau and the rest of the coaches in the JJDL in the description down below. And yeah, that's all from me, guys. We will see you next time. Peace.